In the last video, I shared the strategy that I've been using for the past 12 months or so. So insanely successful for me. It's doubled, tripled, quadrupled, maybe even more in some instances of my sales volume before I started implementing that strategy. But a lot of that has to do with what I'm talking about today, my sell-through rate, which is currently about 500%, which I do admit it's a little bit high right now. Normally it's about a 300 to 400%, which is still very good. And I'm going to show you, just like last week's video, I'm going to demonstrate, I'm going to show you share my screen and go through step by step of this particular strategy that I use to keep my sell-through rate sky high, which makes my sales volume and the money in my fancy pockets flowing in. So let's hop into it. Well, hey there, folks, and welcome back to the pits of YouTube. Today, we're talking, like I said, sell-through rate. And I assume a lot of you resellers out there already know what sell-through rate, but maybe you're new to reselling and have no idea. I didn't know what sell-through rate was for a long time. Sell-through rate basically is a measurement of how many items you may have for sale in your store versus, and it's compared against how many you've sold. For example, if you have 100 items for sale available on your eBay store and you've sold 10 in the past 90 days, then your sell-through rate would be 10%. And that's the very basics. I'm going to slap the official, unofficial definition here up on the screen that AI has informed me of what sell-through rate is. But today we're talking sell-through rate just because I have a pretty high one. I maintain it. Generally, it's about a 300%. At any given time, I usually have about 300 listings, give or take 25 to 50. So I'm in the range of 250 to 350 inventory levels at any given time, and my sell-through rate remains just about 3 times that, roughly 300%. Right now, my inventory happens to be pretty low. As you can see, I think I have 148 items listed. In the past 90 days, my sell-through rate, I've sold 797 items. That measures out to 538%. That's really high. That is not normal. However, the principle of why this is high will remain the same, even though the numbers change. Usually I sit around 900 items per 90 days. I roughly average about 10 sales per day over the course of any given time of 3 months. And like I said, about 300 listings. So usually I'm about a 300% sell-through rate. This is exactly what I do to maintain such a high sell-through rate. If you're going to go down to your Seller Hub, just your main Seller Hub page, and we're going to be looking for this listings eligible to send offers and that magical 69 number when compared against my store, which only currently has 148 items, which I said is about half the size that I'm normally at. But 69 is obviously a very, almost 50% of everything that I have for sale in the store is being watched. It's a very high percentage. Makes me happy. And of course, I have to highlight that in order for what I'm talking about, in order for it to work, obviously you need people watching your items to send offers to, but maybe that's not an issue for you. Maybe you already have regular folks watching your store anyway and watching your items. If that's the case, congratulations, great. Move on without regard to the rest of this video. But if you're like me and you had trouble in the past or have trouble now with getting people to actually engage with your items and your listings, that's what I used my last video to talk about, the strategy of weekend sales and how I use that strategies, not only for making sales on the weekend, but the second agenda is also to get people to watch my items so I can do exactly what I'm talking about in this video. So watch that video if you need more people to be watching your items. Now, continue. I know there's a lot of resellers out there that have much bigger stores than I do, who have thousands of listings, and 69 may not be a very high number, obviously, but it's all relative. If you have 1,000 listings and you have 500, it's 400 to 500 people watching, or 400 to 500 items that are being watched. That's very, very similar ratio to what I'm working with here. And the reason that it's so high, a ratio is so high, is because of the strategy I've talked about in my last video. But at the heart of it, I'll give you a brief summary. I run sales, multi-tiered sales, usually Friday through Sunday night. Sometimes it's only Saturday through Sunday night. And what that does is to get people to watch my items so that come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the traditionally slower days for sales, I have all these people, 69, at least 69 items. Maybe some of them have multiple viewers that I can now send deals out to. And that's how the sell-through rate also stays high, is that I'm able to send specific offers to people. And a lot of people have this question, especially in the last video, of how I determine what sale price to send in the follow-up offers. And I'm going to go through that. And again, it's going to be based on the same strategy of what I did for the sales. So now it is now Monday morning. And what I will do is I'll go through today and I'll choose roughly 20 to 25 of these particular items to send private deals, private offers, follow-up offers. And it's inconsequential which items. You can kind of just decide what's best for you, which offers you want to send. But the important thing is that you spread out these over the next few days. If you send them all out on Monday, which you certainly can, but the reason I don't recommend it, or I should say the reason I do recommend spreading it out over multiple days is it helps keep you active and keep the eBay algorithm on your account healthy. So that's why if I have 69, I'll probably do roughly 25 Monday, 25 Tuesday, and then the 19 remaining on Wednesday, all the while also trying to list stuff if I can, if you have stuff to list. The more activity, the better. But this gives you activities to do on your account. And I think is also very imperative to keeping that sell-through rate high. So I'm just going to go through, and first, usually I do 15% offers, which is slightly better than the 10% offers of my first tiered sale. So I'm going to go through and just look for items that hasn't been in my store for maybe more than a week. Maybe it's been about a week. I know that might be a little bit more difficult for folks that have thousands of items, being that I have a smaller store at any given time. I have a loose, rough idea of things that have only been sitting around for a week or two that I want to offer about 15% off. That's also obviously based on the margins that I have to work with. For example, this Halo sleep sack, I'm only selling for 15 plus shipping, so I think it's roughly $20 all in. I only paid $2, I believe, for this, so I have a lot of margins to work with. 15% on something like this is pretty inconsequential. If I'm given, say, 15% off $15, that's what, like $3, not even $2.50, $2.25, I think. So this has only been sitting around for a week. Had this item been sitting around for 3 weeks, month, 60 days, I would do a higher tiered sale. But for now, I'm just looking for 15% sales of what's been around for a week. There's not a ton. This is 15%. This has only been around a week. And 15% obviously is pretty significant on this $179. I mean, we're talking, almost $30, not quite $25 off, something like that. But again, I only have about $10 into this item. So I have a ton of margin to work with. 15% is no problem. Same with the Viore. 15% looks good. These are new. These are new. These are all new listings when I say new. Golf clubs, just listed them this past week. Yeah, a lot of this stuff. Again, so I'm not going to go through everything right now because the idea is just to show you. So I'll just choose those for now. So you can see I've chosen 7, and I'm going to do 15% off. And here you can do allow counter offers. And I usually turn this off because I'm already giving a deal. It's up to you. That's if you want someone to be able to counter offer your already good deal, then do it. I have done it in the past. The reason I turn it off is because when I send an offer like for this Halo sleep sack, which already sell $14.99, is a very fair price for what the market value of these is on eBay. So I'm already given it a decent deal. So if I allow them to counter on this $12.74 offer, for example, I think that's already a really good deal. So I don't want to sacrifice this item more. Plus, I only have so much margin. I do have margin, but I don't want to necessarily, I'm not going to accept an offer of say $9 or $8 or something like that unless I'm extremely desperate, but I'm not. So you can see here, all these I'm just double checking, make sure. And if you ever make a mistake, you can obviously just remove this listing from the offer. So then I'm just going to send offers out to those items. And then same thing. Then I would just repeat the process, but now I'd go through and look for like 20% offers. And I would base that on, again, how long something has been on for sale, and also compare it to what kind of margins I'm working with. A lot of this, like this 20% off works for that. 20% off works for that. This Ted Baker, you can see it's $200 is already a really good price, but it's a suit and it's a specific size. So I'm actually, despite 20% being, $40 off this item, which would be an incredible price, I'm actually going to do that in the next one, where I'm going to do about 25% off and send $50 off this thing, just because I've had it for, say, 4 months. And obviously, whatever your business model is, I like to move stuff. I like to take profits, get the profits in, so then I can reinvest that and keep the money wagon going. I don't like to sit on things for too long, unless I really have to. Unless I cannot accept minimal offers based on if my margins are too close, then I won't do this. But on any items that I can, I will certainly do this for 20%. So we're looking at stuff that's been sitting around for, I'd say, roughly 3 weeks to a month. Maybe 5 weeks, or just stuff that really needs to move. So I'm just going to choose a few things here. It's just rinse repeat with this stuff. You can see, and then this shows you the updated price in green. And I'm going to send these offers off. And I'm actually going to remove this one because I want to give a bigger discount, because this has actually been sitting around for a very long time. Well, that's all I'm going to do for offers for today. So we started at 69, so I actually sent out 30 offers today, and I'll probably do I'll do 20 tomorrow and then 19 the next day. This is what I've been doing for the past at least a year, a little more than a year, and it has made dramatic improvement on the sales volume and the money in my pocket. And I have to highlight that this method is not the end all be all for why my sell-through rate tends to be higher. I'm very consistent on eBay, meaning I'm very active. I do activity on the site every day. I list every day, and I have decent quality items that people are looking for. They're desirable items, and I'm very consistent in my efforts in doing so. So obviously, that takes part in having this fantastic sell-through rate. So you can't just think that this is going to work despite all other variables that go into being a reseller on eBay. So keep that in mind. In a nutshell, this is exactly what I do for these high sell-through rates, and I want you to try it. I want you to see if it works for you. I hope you find success. I hope you find some success. Do check out, if you haven't seen the video that I talk about the weekend strategy, I think that goes hand in hand with this sell-through rate and how to get all the watchers. In order to do this, the stuff in this video, you have to have people watching your item. So do make sure you can get people eyes on your item. And as far as I can tell, the best way to get people watching your items is to entice them with some good prices, run some good sales on the weekend, and keep the activity through your account going through the week. And let me know about your results. I wish you the best. Okay, we'll see you guys out in the wild.